This is how you easily beat Triage on Impossible with the challenge on. Choose whichever option, but I'm going to choose Fast Responder. First things first, bring your army up to the entrance, dig it out, and dig this chamber of termites. Also create some food chambers. Once you've taken care of the termites, make sure to start making medics. You're going to be making pretty much only medics this entire game. And then go and raid one of the termite mounds. Choose whichever one you want, but I'm going to use the middle. The right is equally viable. The only one I would avoid is the left one, because that's where the assassin bug will spawn every single time. Assassin bugs spawn in set locations every single time, just like the forward flies. When you're raiding the termites, I would actually recommend turning off food gathering, so that way your ants actually get out of there with the food. You need to hit and run as the Matabele. It's going to be a bit micro-intensive, but that is unfortunately how it has to be with the Matabele. Once the termites have calmed down, then you can go back in. After your first attack, they will have soldiers stationed right outside their entrance, which is a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. The key to playing as the Matabele ants is you just gotta hit them hard, hit them fast, and get out before reinforcements come. See, there come the reinforcements right down the tunnel. As much as I'd love to get every ounce of food, you just can't with the termites. There we go, the response force is going back inside the nest, which means we can raid it once again. Now that it's daytime, the termites are going to go inside their mounds. However, it is a good opportunity to get back what little bits of food you can that are still there. Once you do, go back to your nest. There's nothing more to be gained outside. Termites will respond as normal when you get close to their nest, but I think they're a little bit slower than normal. Also open up another chamber of termites. We need to feast. I also tried and opened up our little pathway as much as I could wherever I could, just so that way hopefully casualties get transported faster and reinforcements get back to the front faster. The reason I chose Fast Responder is just because of the distance they have to travel. Look how long they have to travel just to get to the Queen to heal them. Now, I know eventually it won't really matter the distance as much because creatures will just open everything up, but for the beginning nights, I think having Fast Responders just makes things snowball a little bit faster. And snowballing is the name of the game. Just so you know, I did previously beat this in my practice runs with the anesthetic version, so that is a perfectly viable option. And in my opinion, it might be the stronger option for a pure Matabele colony, again, if it wasn't a mile-long underground path. The medics move faster and treat faster, so that alone is a win. Now that we've taken care of the termites underground, we can start prepping for future expansions. There's two African stink tunnels right here and right here. Now that it is day, we have to deal with the rainbow lizards. We need to clear a path to the termites. I hope they're just going to chill there. They better. We're going to go raid the termites while they're preoccupied, and it's always how it goes. As soon as I'm doing something, they come in and completely ruin my backline. We need to take out these lizards because they are extremely deadly. Luckily, you don't need to kill them, you just have to drive them off. But a lot of the times you do end up killing them. Now you want to go to the left mound because the central and the right have stink bugs, or sorry, assassin bugs. I keep calling them stink bugs. Unfortunately, the rainbow lizards are really causing me some issues, as you can see. Need to wait for them to get divided up before we can march in there. And we are also out of food, so that's a great position to be in. We're going to turn off casualty transport just because we cannot afford any of our soldiers going off. You can only fight them really one at a time. There we go. Now one of them is moved off, and the only one that is left is low health. And there we go, driven off. We need to get this food and these casualties into the nest ASAP. Food specifically because we're out of it, and also I don't want it to despawn. Once the objective to survive a few nights pops up, that means it is now night, which means it is going to be a lot harder to raid the termites. You can definitely do it, but there's going to be a lot of enemies. And early on like this, you do not quite have the resources to take on all the nighttime creatures and the termites. So what I'd recommend doing is go on one last raid, refill your stocks, and then go back underground and open up another chamber of termites. Remember, the goal is to have an absolute ton of medics. Now, when I beat this level, I had only 20 soldiers. I literally just brought each group up to 10 each, and then I had 56 medics. And that did work. Though I'm going to try and have less medics, more soldiers, so that hopefully I don't need to have 2,000 food for the Emperor Scorpion. And yes, the Scorpion did blow through 2,000 food. Since it is still night, I am going to open up a second chamber of termites. So which colony should you attack now? Well, there's a lot of creatures hanging about, but the choice is very clear. You want to go right down the middle. But there's assassin beetles there. Yes, there are. However, they're harmless. Let me explain what I mean by they're harmless. When they have ants on their back, they are invisible to you. Your ants will not target them, and oh dear God, there's a praying mantis. When they don't have ants on their back like they did right there, they are just like any other creature, except they're actually incredibly weak, and they do not assassinate your ants. What I'm going to do for now, numbers-wise, is I'm only going to bring my soldiers up to 10 and my medics up to 25. Why these numbers? I don't know, it's just some arbitrary number I made up. This level is all about balancing speed and lethality, and patience as well. Don't forget patience, because you do need a little bit of patience to deal with the termite mounds, especially in the early game. You can't just go full send. Oh yeah, also apparently rainbow lizards will sometimes ignore your ants. It literally just walked right through them and just completely ignored them. I don't know the logic behind the rainbow lizards, but it's a little weird sometimes. Once daytime hits, go back underground. The plan is to finish off both termite chambers that are left, and we're also going to clear out some space right here so I can make more medics. A good rule of thumb I use to gauge how much food I should keep in my reserves is about 200. Just roughly. 200 gives me a little bit of wiggle room in case things go wrong, but 300 is probably a better place. So that's where I'm going to keep it at right now, because I know I've had some troubles on this day with lizards. Also, if you couldn't notice, assassin bug, no assassin bug, middle it is. Probably should have done the right side last night, but we're going back to the middle, and they're probably real weakened. Honestly, it might be worth killing them right now. Here's the thing, you don't technically need to keep any of the termite mounds alive, because once the level's over, it's over. It doesn't matter how many of them are still left. You could take them all out, and as long as you got enough food for the level, you're good. It's not like there's a fail condition. Ah yes, this is what I mean by the rainbow lizards being an absolute nuisance. They're a menace. Can't you tell? They look exactly like Spider-Man. Oh, come on. And that's what makes them even worse when they're grouped up. Hey, don't come down here. Don't come down here. This isn't your home, bro. You got the wrong address. And I just realized fighting was off. And a third giant one decided to come say hi. Lovely. All right, tonight we get the first of the titans coming to say hi, and that is the camel spider. Honestly, the camel spider is pretty easy, but it's still a threat you want to prep for. I'd recommend keeping about 500 food just for this fight. There we go, the sun spider's here, and this is why I say the sun spider's not a threat. We've already got down to half health, and it's been here for like 15 seconds. Down goes the sun spider. Piece of cake. I only burned through like 100 food. I'm going to take advantage of the newfound space by expanding my food stores quite significantly, so that way they never have to travel to the queen. We're going to now raid the right mound, since the assassin bugs have lost their camouflage, and we have really decimated the central mound. By the way, whenever I say the queen, I feel like the alien from Toy Story. The queen. See, it's like the exact same thing. Matabele ants be like, You have saved our lives. We are eternally grateful. Alright, so since our soldiers are pretty much non-existent there anymore, I'm going to turn off brute fighting and let them gather what they can. Everyone else is goners. They're Cocoa Pops. Now I'm going to move on to the left mound, just because they seem to be very healthy and very wealthy. And well, I think it's only fair that they share some of that wealth with us. Because we've done so much hard work, you know, it's only fair that we take advantage of all their work. It is day, so I'm going to grab whatever food I can and just dip back to my nest. Now I'm going to finish clearing out the nest. You don't need to, but the centipede goes literally everywhere, so I'd rather not have to fight the centipede and other creatures. Oh yeah, also I've sometimes noticed medics just chilling like this for no apparent reason. I think it's a bug. I'm not too sure what's going on, but you seem a bit lost there. This night, there is no free mound. All three of them will be blocked by assassin beetles. We are going to prep the battlefield for us by driving off the rainbow lizards, and we're going to challenge the right mound. Here you can see left mound, assassin bug. Central mound, assassin bug. Right mound, assassin bug. There's no way around it. You have to deal with them parasiting your raiding columns. Make sure to stock up on food tonight. Tonight, the centipede will attack. I would recommend bare minimum 1,000. More like 1,500, but 1,000 is bare minimum. Because the centipede will blow through 1,000. Pretty much guaranteed. Again, not much you can really do. You just have to deal with it. Sad as it is. At least the assassin bugs murder your ants immediately. Unlike the forward flies that take like 5 minutes to finally kill your ant. Making them all slow and not killing them so that way they can hatch someone better. Can you believe how rude that is? Not letting them die? Ugh, disgraceful. So just to give you a general idea of where I'm at numbers-wise, I have 43 medics, 15 soldiers, and then 12 soldiers. I have 70 actual soldiers and 35 zombie soldiers. About 1,600 food stored up. I hope it's enough. Oh, by the way, the sun spider spawns right up here. The centipede spawns right over here. And the emperor scorpion spawns over here. In my opinion, the centipede is a terrible creature to fight. I honestly fear the centipede more than the emperor scorpion, even though the scorpion is really tough. Just because it keeps moving around. Like, yeah, it has a lot less health, and we're actually able to deal damage to it. But it's able to shred through a lot of us, and it moves around a lot. Like that. It just steamrolls through our colony. This is part of the reason why I wanted fast responder. So that way they can heal up the dead soldiers a lot faster and get them back in the fight. It's going to be very useful against the scorpion. We've got him down to half health and we still haven't blown through 500 food. So I'm happy with that. I might have over-prepared a bit. Again, every other time I've done this, I've had less soldiers. Not a lot less soldiers, but still less. I feel like I worked a lot faster this time than I have in my test runs. Well, thank you for bulldozing through my colony, but the centipede is finally dead. Now, the narrator says the night is over, but the enemies haven't gotten the memo. They're still pretty active and alive. But they are starting to despawn, so that means we're going to go and raid the left colony. We haven't touched the left one that much, and it is prime for the picking. The right is looking a bit rough. The middle's looking okay, but I want to keep that for later. And what's even better is the assassin bugs lost their camouflage. Even the ones on the right lost their camo. Yeah, that's right, not so tough now, are ya? Oh, and we're also going to kill alligator-back scorpion just because we feel like it. Honestly, we're at the point where you don't really need to invest in more soldiers, but I believe the Matabele are better with a quantity over quality solution. Because every tile has a chance to yield 2 soldiers. The more tiles you have, the more likely that they're going to be a second soldier. Like, look at this. We have 45 medics, but we also have 20-something ones that are zombies. Like, that's 20 extra soldiers for essentially free. Like, yes, they died and we had to spend some time nursing them, but they're essentially free. Honestly, in my opinion, the Matabele kind of play very similar to the fire ants, and yet not at all like the fire ants. I say they play very similar to the fire ants in that once you get them going, they're near unstoppable. And they're not alike in the fire ants in that they take a little while to warm up. And you have to be real careful in the beginning. But then after a certain point, you can just go ham and be all genocidal as you want. Honestly, if we really wanted to, we could just take down this mound right now. There's no reason to keep it alive. We have to survive 2 more nights. And once night has fallen again, guess what? We just have the Emperor Scorpion. And then that's GG. You know what I mean by the rainbow lizards being a little weird and they're not attacking? I don't know what their code is, but I don't know if it's a bug or just how they react or something. I don't know. It's a little weird though. But we're going to take down this rainbow lizard menace. They're a menace that needs to be exposed. The termites are back on the harvesting trail, which means we want to go to the central mound. We are eliminating the central mound, okay? Now you might be wondering why we're eliminating them. Well, because this is the last moment. Technically it says survive 2 nights, but for whatever reason, the second night and the first night kind of merge into one. Like once it ticks down and says 1 night, that means the Emperor Scorpion is coming then, right there and then, that night. In my test runs, I never actually took out any of the termite mounds. I kept them all alive. But the queen is 800 food, and I don't know if I can turn that down. Unfortunately, we are losing a little bit, so we need to pull back. Word of advice, don't pull back to where the assassin bugs are. We just need to let them cool off for a minute. And yes, I know we're out of food, and that's not exactly a good situation to be in, but we'll be fine, I hope. Oh yeah, fun fact about the assassinated bugs, their corpses are gone, so you can't heal them. So remember how I said we were supposed to be at 2,000 for when the Emperor Scorpion comes in like 5 minutes? Yeah, about that. I may have made an oopsie. But we're doing a lot better this time around. We're about to face the Sun Spider and have 15 soldiers of each chamber and 30 medics. Oh yeah, it's dying a lot faster this time. Medics are great until you hit a boiling point and then just go soldiers pretty much. But I'm still going to make a fair few medics. To be honest, it's starting to look like you don't need that many medics compared to soldiers. It's better to have a good amount of medics. I'd say roughly 1-to-1 ratio of medics to soldiers. That way you can do plenty of damage and also keep your casualties to a minimum and keep a large army. This time the right column almost went to extinction. Yeah, more soldiers at a certain point is definitely the way to go. But you know, first you have to hit that point with medics. This time fighting the centipede, we have 1,100 food, 40 soldiers, and 43 medics. I think we'll be able to take it. I think last time we had like 70 total, even with our resurrected troops. So this is a piece of cake. Oh yeah, look at that health melt. Well, it looks like the centipede doesn't have a leg to stand on. This time we are going to actually extinct the right colony. The left one is way too weak. And the middle one, I want to save for later. The swarm mobilizes. I don't know what's more terrifying, seeing all the bubbles or without the bubbles. Either way, I'd be scared if I saw that running at me. Yeah, I think this colony's a little bit spent. What do you think? This time we did, in fact, exterminate the right mound. I know I'm technically losing the food supply, but it's at the end of the game, so I feel like it's fine. The colony has been pillaged and the Emperor Scorpion is here. We're a bit low on food, but I hope it's fine. We have 50 medics and 50 soldiers, so we'll see how it goes. Half the army is returning from the mound, so hopefully they do have some food in their mouths, but I doubt it. The Emperor Scorpion is charging deeper into the nest. For now, we are surviving, but only just barely. We brought it down to 50,000 health and had 300 food. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I hope the medics keep everything alive. We might barely squeeze out or barely fail. We'll see. We got down to half health and are out of food now. We are unfortunately losing a lot of our colony. We're down to about half numbers. Have about 100 ants left. It's going to be a close one. I got a little greedy and decided to expand my numbers a bit. You could probably make do with 20 soldiers of each group and about 40 medics. That would probably be better than what I'm doing right now. There is still a possibility I will win, but it is a very slim one. This time around, I'm stopping at 20 medics and getting a few more soldiers. The reason is because medics have an attack value of 3. The soldiers have 12. They are literally 4 times more effective in battle, so that might explain why my DPS was always really low. And also why I needed 2,000 food for the Scorpion. From now on, I'm going to try to keep the soldier count 1-to-1 medic soldier. Even when you have a large army, do not keep engaging. Once you've killed enough termites, just turn off fighting and leave, okay? That is the trick to getting a lot of food. Do not kill more termites than you need. All you will do is lose food. The sun spider is here. We have 300 food stockpiled and 30 soldiers and medics. I'd say we easily won that. The centipede is here. We have 40 soldiers and 41 medics and about 700 food in stockpile. We are now out of food with about 5,000 health remaining. Stop moving on me. We're now going to raid the right mound to extinction. The right mound has fallen. The feast will really help prepare for the Scorpion. And we finally have our final numbers for the last night. 50 soldiers and 50 medics. The soldiers are in 2 groups of 25. Now we stockpile food until we're full. Here comes night. We have over 1,000 food. I'm going to hope that's enough and start hiding underground in the nest. Oh yeah, we have 1,500 food. That's going to be plenty. Here comes the Emperor Scorpion. We have 1,600 food and 50 medics and soldiers. We have this. You know what, just ignore the giant scorpion for a bit. It'll be fine, probably. And here we go. The boss battle has begun. So the Emperor Scorpion, when it slams the ground, it stuns the ants, and then after they're done being stunned, they're confused. So it is a very deadly attack, because it gets quite a bit of time, mostly to itself, and also a lot of time where they're not attacking them. And with a 30% damage reduction, it's going to take a while to take it out. But we do seem to be putting a lot of pressure on it already. Halfway done, 1,000 food, we got this. We are going to win. We're not going to run out of food this time. Even when we did run out of food, we almost killed it. And we had a smaller army. Actually, no, I think we had the exact same size army. Just nowhere near as much food stockpiled. Regicide. The Emperor has been dethroned. And that is how you beat Triage on Impossible with the challenge on.